You can call me Furry. I am vlogging here from Denmark, sitting on my, I don't know, patio, veranda, terrace. I'm not sure I have the correct English words for this place, but yeah, it has a solid brick underlaying, and we sit here to enjoy meals. We have our pizza oven. We have kind of like a gas-driven pizza oven for outdoors use, and we barbecue it here. So yeah, I think that gives you an idea of where I'm sitting. And I love it here this time of year where it's, you know, the wind is cold, but the sun is hot, and I am so not a sun person. I get suntanned, sunburned actually really easy. And speaking of sun and summer and everything nice, today's topic is going to be summer knitting. Because I think a year or two ago I really seriously started doing summer knits because I'd mainly done like winter things, and I've been knitting so long, and especially since I have been sick with stress a couple of times. Some of my memory has definitely been damaged by that, but it is 2 years ago, yeah, approximately, that I started really, getting into the summer knit vibe, and that's taught me a bit about tricks that I use when I do particularly summer knits, because summer knits is, in my perspective, when you use a yarn that has a very high content of either cotton, a viscose, or a modal, or a silk, or something that is not based on a wool from an animal. So this yarn that I am knitting in right now, I'm trying to find one of the skeins that I haven't opened, is a yarn called New Arezzo. It's from Yardegarn, and it's 47% bamboo, 33% linen, and 20% cotton. So this is a summer yarn in my world. The t-shirt that I am wearing right now is a blow yarn, actually, with a core of cotton, and then there are now I'm getting a bit uncertain, but it is, I think it's an alpaca that's blown into the yarn, and then it's hand colored. It's from Lana Grossa, and it's called Allegra, I think. But in my world, that's also a summer yarn. I wouldn't be wearing this if it was more than, I think, 23 degrees warm, 25 maybe even. I am in a new phase of my life where how hot or cold it is outside definitely defines my physical well-being. Today I've been really cold, even though it's beautiful and sunny, but that's just the way it is. Well, back to the summer knitting tricks. So the thing is, when you knit in yarns like with a high percentage of cotton or silk or linen, and a lot of the similar types, they are very what do you call it, they're very difficult. They kind of slide around the needles, and they are very hard to do like nice weaving in of the ends. So I'm not very satisfied with this, so I'm going to do something else. But for you, this is, it might be, a good thing, because I've been doing Stephen West knits method called Weave in Stephen, where you weave in the ends of the yarn as you go. Since this yarn is really like hard to work with, I've started, and maybe this is actually trick number 1. Don't be afraid of tying knots. So what I've done here, you can see that I've changed the color, and I'm showing you the pearl side of my project. I have made a knot right here, so that I don't have the difficulty of you know, afterwards trying to, you know, manipulate the yarn into, you know, not making holes. And as you can see, it's not, I've not succeeded with every time. So that's one of the things with salmon knitting. It's really hard to, you know, weave in the ends nicely. So I think I just need to, you know, come to terms with that. I have to weave in the ends when I am done, because as you can see, they have this tendency to, you know, escape and go out on the front side of my knitting. And I just finished another summer knit the other day, and that's in a pure silk, and the one of the ends of the yarn has already like, so I have like in the middle of the t-shirt kind of like an end sticking out, and it doesn't really bother me, but then it bothers me a bit, so I just need to find a crochet needle and then pull it out in the back. So but the first trick is to tie knots when you change the color, if you do like stripes, or if you are changing the yarn, you know, finished one ball of yarn and then need to start on a new ball of yarn. Tie a knot between like 2 of the stitches, so that the knot will be here on the back side, wrong side, pearl side, whatever. Yeah. So that's trick number 1. Tie knots, just like we have been told by Lærke Bakker, who is also a Danish designer. Yeah. Trick number 2 when knitting in summer yarns is, I think that finding summer yarns that aren't, you know, hard on the hands. This is you know, some people might find this yarn very hard on the hands because it's very non-flexible, and it's really, you can see any you know, the slightest bit of a mistake that you've made, you can see it in a yarn like this. So you have to be, you know, really particular about your knitting, because if you do the slightest mistake, well, maybe, you know, your husband or your kid won't notice, but other kniters will, I think. I sometimes, when I look at people's pictures on Instagram, and I know I'm a horrible person. Sorry, I am horrible. Sometimes I sit and I look at other people's pictures of their knitting, and, you know, the commentary is going like, oh, it's so beautiful. And it is, of course, a lot of it is really beautiful. But then sometimes I, you know, I get I see that there is, you know, maybe there is something about how the raglan has been made that I'm thinking, oh, I wouldn't be satisfied about that. And I'm so horrible, I know. So, and you know, nobody sees, but then if you have like the time to sit and really, you know, zoom in on the picture on Instagram. I don't do that often. I don't like, you know, look for people's mistakes, but sometimes they're kind of like, you know, jumping out at me and I can't help but notice. So, tongue knots, number 1. Number 2 is, you know, try different needles, because I am knitting this on some really old bamboo needles. I think it's, you know, this is the case for the needles. And they're really old. I can see on the price that they cost me 38 kroner and 50 øre. And that's like, I don't know. They would cost me the double today. I wouldn't be able to buy needles like this at this price today. They would cost me the double. So they're really old. And I can also feel it on the tips of the needles, because they are getting a bit kind of like your fingernails, that sometimes you get like this something that you can feel. It's especially when you are knitting in something really, really delicate, then all of a sudden maybe you have like, you know, just a teeny tiny thing on one of your fingernails, and then you know, you can just feel it, you know, hanging, getting caught in the yarn all the time, and it's so annoying. And I can feel that that's also happening with these bamboo needles, these really old bamboo needles. But what I like about these bamboo needles, I think, I know the store I bought these, it's the same store where I bought the yarn. It's one of my local yarn stores, and now they haven't changed suppliers, but these needles, I'm pretty sure that these are very, very old Addy needles. So I actually like Addy's bamboo needles. I think they are, thinking about the price, okay needles. And for summer knitting, I prefer bamboo or wood. Not all types of wood, because some types of wood are very hard. Like I have some Pony Perfect needles, and I think they're really hard. The wood is very hard, and they can get too smooth, kind of, for summer knitting projects. And this is my opinion, because knitting needles, that's why I'm saying try different kinds with the yarn, because it really makes a great difference if the needle and the yarn and the way you knit, the temperature of your hands, the strength in your hands, your also how experienced you are, definitely can be factors that influence which knitting needles that you will find the best to use. Because I know women who've been knitting for years, more than 10 years, and they still love these metal needles. And I also have metal needles, and I think that they are very good for specific things. Just like that, I say that my favorite needles are Knit Pro Symphony needles, and they definitely are. But recently, you know, The only one I'll love forever are my husband and my children. Everybody else is up for debate. Sorry, guys. So, what I have experienced with the Knit Pro Symphony needles is that I use the interchangeables, the ones that you can, you know, with a wire that can't be changed. And I find that this point of the needle, since just like this one, the wire has been glued into the needle, and I often, and again, the way that I knit, the things that I knit, I have very warm hands and I knit very tight. So I have experienced that for some reason the joint here between the needle and the wire, they tend to, you know, come unjoined. And I can see I have a lot of needles where, you know, it's all of a sudden I've been sitting with, you know, needle and then the wire, and have, you know, stitches that are not on anything, and getting a bit, you know, panicked because I think that when I, you know, have worked with it, but when I have, lost a couple of stitches and I need to pick them up again, I think it's really difficult to do it in a way where you can't see, you know, a difference in tension between the ones that I have knitted and the ones that I have saved. So I am right now, I am kind of in doubt that if I want to continue buying Knit Pro Symphony needles, because I have this new issue with the wires coming off. So, but back to the tricks. Trick number 2, try different needles with different yarns, because this might be the perfect needle for this particular quality, then knitting something else. I did the pure silk thing, I knitted that on my Knit Pro, and it worked like a charm. But I've also sometimes experienced that actually the perfect needle might be a metal needle or some other, but you know, try your way. Oh, I know I just lost a stitch, just like I told you that I hated. Yeah, so I'm trying to say this thing. Yeah, well, that is trick number 2. Try different needles, find out which one works best for you with the particular yarn, with the particular project, and so on. I can easily recommend what I like, but that doesn't mean that that will be your preferred type of knitting needles, and I am not that influenced on, you know, buying trendy needles. Like I don't have the Lüge needles, I don't have the, what they called, New Moon needles. Sorry guys, my daughter just called me telling me that she was coming home. Well, I put this project in this, which is actually a bread basket, which my daughter has like painted little things on. I think it's supposed to be like this, yes, because I could also do that. Like that. The bread baskets like these were very high fashion a couple of years ago when she did this. I have something with bread. I taught a class of hygiene once for people working in the cleaning industry, and the book that I taught the class used in class was more minded people working in kitchens and things like that, and we read a lot about bacteria and fungi and everything really nasty that can, you know, you can get really sick if you get in contact with. And one of the things that really, you know, icked me was things that can grow in bread. Don't Google, just don't. So since I did that class on hygiene, I have been very particular about hygiene surrounding my bread. So I don't intend on using this for bread, because if I used it for bread, I would feel the need to wash it quite often. And if I wash it quite often, I think it's kind of like a stencil thing they've done. That would disappear. And that's a shame, because then it would just, you know, be a white bread basket that my daughter's artwork was gone. I actually think there might be a motif underneath the yarn also, but yeah. So that is trick number 2. Be mindful of the bag that you choose if you want to bring the yarn outside. There are a lot of solutions, but think of, am I going to take this with me everywhere? Because this is, for instance, if I was going somewhere where I needed to be very mobile, like I just went to a football match yesterday. I didn't bring this project because I stood and knitted. If I have free hands, I can knit. That's the rule. Okay. Sorry about the interruptions, but apparently everybody needs to call me this afternoon to tell me that they are coming home. So, yes. So, the 3 tricks. Tie knots so that you don't get like big holes in your knitting. Think about how you weaving the ends, and be particular about, you know, how you do the knitting. Trick number 2, try a lot of different needles. Find the needle that fits you and the project, the quality, so that you get a positive, you know, experience with your summer knitting. And number 3, the 3rd trick, choose a project bag, project basket, whatever, that fits your need, so that you can keep your yarn in line. So that's the 3 tricks that I have. Well, maybe number 1 was more than 1 trick, but I think you get the point. And if you live in a climate like mine, where we have these summers that are not always, you know, it's just hot. We have during a normal Danish summer, we might have like an entire week where it just, you know, rains, and the temperatures are like between 17 and 20 degrees Celsius, not Fahrenheit. So you know, you still want that summer vibe, even though it's, you need to wear like a windbreaker or something like that when you're going outside. Particularly this part of Denmark is very windy. I am lucky that the previous owners of our house has planted a lot of trees, and which means that this entire property is not that wind sensitive, but you know, we are in the western part of Jutland, so it is still pretty windy. And our cottage summer house is in a area of Denmark where it, you know, it is very windy. So you need a wardrobe that's, you know, appropriate for all kinds of weather all year round almost. Well, we don't have warm winters in Denmark, no. You know, warm, but you know, climate change. Let's not go down that road. But finishing off, I might just tell you this pattern is a pattern called Mellow Tea. I think you can get it in English. The designer is Vise Knit. I'll write it down here. And it's a very simple thing. You know, when I choose a pattern, I think of it as, you know, my canvas to paint on, especially if it's a model that's as simple as this one. I have not made the sleeves correctly. These sleeves should have been longer, wider. Well, it's something to do with me being a fool and not counting how many stitches I had picked up. The neckline is I started with doing like a Italian bind off, but the bind off did like and it wasn't pretty, so I have made a more regular bind off in knit, and you know, you knit two, then you pull one over the other, you knit one, pull one over, so you do cast off in that way, which has resulted in this neckline being just big enough for me to get it, pull it over my head. This is so typical me. So, but this yarn, this is not the yarn that's recommended in the pattern, so totally my own fault, but this is a yarn I had in my stash and I wanted to use. And another thing is that I originally only bought this teal color because I had taken my second daughter to the yarn store, and I was like, oh, this is pretty and this is pretty, and she was like, no, 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 no. And then, okay, how about this one? That will do if, you know, but that one is horrible and that one is so out of fashion, Mom. And, you know, I was like, okay, then we're going to buy this teal one, if you say so. And I'm not into teal, actually. Sorry, guys. So I took it home, and it's bought for this particular pattern. So it's been supposed to become a mellow tea right from the start. So I knew that it would work with this pattern. But then I came home, I started, I cast on the mellow tea, and I was just not in love with the project. So I threw it in the back of my closet for like a year, maybe more, at least a year. I threw it in the back of the closet, and then I was like, what am I going to do, because... And then I decided, okay, I need to use this teal yarn, because I had bought five skeins, I think. Yes, 5 skeins of teal yarn. I think 5, maybe 6. something like that. 5 or 6 skeins of teal yarn, because that fitted the amount of yarn I needed for the mallow tea. Then I, stripes is very high fashion in Denmark right now. So I decided, well, stripes is the way to go. So I went down to the yarn store again, and then I bought the orange and the dark blue and the mole brown. The in Denmark you would call this a cafe latte colored. I'm a latte colored. Who knows? Well, that's the colors that I was very excited about my choice of color. And then I, started the project. Still not in love with the teal. And then I realized, oh, if I did like orange edges, like this, and I'm going to do the same in the bottom, maybe that will do the trick. So I did that. I love it. I think it's just, so what I want. Then recently I realized that, I got, the idea that maybe there should be a white also. But that's not going to happen. There is not going to be a white stripe in this also, because I didn't buy white. I'm not going to go to the yarn store again and buy more yarn, because right now I have I had the original, I think there were originally 6 skeins of yarn, and then I bought additionally 6 more skeins, which means I have 12. I originally had 12 skeins of this yarn, which is more than enough for me to knit a dress in my size. I am approximately a size 46, 44, 46, something like that, which is a European size large, approximately, which is a size 14, I think, in Americans. Oh, don't believe me necessarily. Something like that. I have a chest measurement of around 107 centimeters. So let's see. I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. I have started to do like increases along the 2 sides, which means I am most likely going to do like a split hem on the bottom, because then I can, because when you only do like the increases in the side, it does like this, and then it has a tendency, especially in these drapey heavy summer yarns, then it has like a tendency to drip a bit in the sides, because it's heavy and it's drapey. Everything that has something good in it also has something bad, like really soft yarn has a tendency to do what's it called, to start looking worn a little too fast maybe. So yeah, ups and downs. Yeah, I think that was it for today. I hope that you, if you have any questions on how I do summer knitting, please just leave me a question in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and if you're not already subscribing to my channel, please subscribe. When you subscribe, more people can find my channel and find the content that I am creating. This is trying to be an ad-free channel. No ads, no giveaways, just me knitting and talking. That's the concept. And until that I decide to sit down and knit and talk and record me doing, I hope that you will be happy and do a lot of knitting, and I hope to see you again next time. Happy knitting, everybody.